Hi, everybody. Today we are going to start the Art of Argument unit. We'll start with session one. Session one is about weighing evidence to form a position. Before you begin, will you please open up your writer's notebook to the next blank page? At the top, write the date and please write this title. Argument already plays a big role in your lives. It seems like everywhere we look, people are arguing or having a disagreement about something. We see it on the news, we see it in our families, we see it in the hallway. People are often arguing. Think of a time when you were involved in a heated argument. Why do you think it is important to be able to argue a position well or strongly? Today, I want to teach you that when picking sides in an argument, it is important to start by weighing the reasons and the evidence offered up by both sides, remaining open, suspending judgment so you can develop a considered opinion. And even that opinion, that position, is a preliminary or initial or just beginning one. So before you even decide how you feel about something, it's important to look at the evidence. There are definitely arguments that are personal, but there are also arguments that involve middle school students across the nation or world. Some of those arguments include: is it okay to have cell phones in schools? Should students wear uniforms to school? Another one is: should kids be involved in competitive sports? Some of you may already have strong opinions and beliefs about this. Today, and for this unit, I'm going to ask you to suspend your judgment until you've looked at the evidence. We're going to use this idea of competitive sports and whether kids should play it to practice doing argument. Today, you're going to start by researching both sides of the issue. That means you'll want to figure out the reasons and evidence that support different viewpoints, learning about the opinions of people who think differently than you do, and learning also about the evidence people draw on to support their positions. So, as I said, we're going to use competitive sports as an example topic to practice this unit of argument. For example, some people could argue against competitive sports by saying that they create a lot of pressure, some kids get left out, sports injuries can be a really big deal, and so on. Some people can argue in favor of competitive sports, saying that competitive sports teach hard work and teamwork, and they make people more healthy, and so on. So, as you can see, there's both sides to competitive sports. While you're doing your research, you're going to need to take notes because once you decide on a preliminary position, you'll need to be able to engage in a debate for that position, citing evidence, not just talking about your gut feelings. We'll talk about how you can do your note taking in just a moment. To practice finding evidence for both sides of an argument, you're going to read an article and take notes on it, and then we'll review it together. Before you start reading, though, consider this. Titles are often very revealing. Before you read an article, read the title and decide whether you think that the article is going to be for or against competitive sports. Okay, now let's set up your notebook to take notes while you read. This is an example of a chart that you can set up to gather the evidence as you are reading the text or the article. Or you could even use it for taking notes while you watch a video, which is something that you'll be doing a little bit later. So please set up this chart in your writer's notebook. Now that you have that chart set up in your writer's notebook, please read this article and take notes while you read. You can just click on the link and it will take you right there. Now that you have done a little bit of research to find evidence in favor of competitive sports or against competitive sports, I want to tell you that next class, we're going to debate in class whether competitive sports are overall positive or negative for kids. To prepare for that debate, please read and watch 3 more pieces. There's 1 more article and 2 videos. And please take notes the same way you did for the first article. So the first one is Get Off That Couch and Play. That's an article you can read. Then there's a video by a woman named Katie Couric. And lastly, there's a video about head injuries in football. Your homework before next class is to read the article and watch the videos and take notes on the pros and cons that are presented. And remember that you'll need to be ready to debate this topic next class. Thanks, everybody.